American exceptionalism would be?
I think I probably wouldn't go as far as Mr. Griffin, whom I have a great deal of respect for and look forward to our spirited campaign. I think exceptionalism in the context of our country means that we should not go as far as chauvinism, and I think if we're not careful, we will go there. We are different in that we were born out of a different kind of spirit. We were born out of a revolution of people just wanting something different and a way to explore their individuality and be the best they can be. But I don't think exceptionalism means that there are other people in the world who are not equal to us. I think we have to be very careful about that because we are a part of the rest of the world. And while we are still very much a powerhouse in this world, it's important that we not use that powerhouse status to become the big brother of the world, to make sure, as I said earlier, that my way is the only way. I think that's a dangerous position. We can all be patriotic, and we all are. We should never question each other's patriotism. We should all be proud of our country, as I am. We should all be happy about the exceptional opportunities that we have in our country. But I think we should never move it to the point that we are so exceptional that we don't have anything to learn from the rest of the world. I think that's very important in the context of humanity. But we have to make sure that we find ways that kids don't have to leave. And I've been talking about something, I have a lot of time to talk about it now. We don't know what talents we have out there in rural or urban areas. We don't know what talents are. You know, we just finished a census. We know how many people and who's everywhere in this country. What if we did a talent census or a talent audit in each of our little towns, and even in our urban areas, and from there begin to think about economic development policy? Because economic development policy is going to work, I believe, only when it's infused with the people, not one or two people in the town. So everybody kind of needs to own that. And I think that's true of rural and urban areas, Ms. Abrams. In our urban areas, something I see that's very, very needed is, we don't do a good job of giving our young people some place to go and be and grow after school hours. And we need to do that because when you were 16, I won't ask you what you did, but you basically know what you were out doing when you were 16. So now, there's even more of whatever it is you were doing probably. And these kids need to be someplace else and have some other options. And I think that would greatly enhance the quality of life in our urban areas because then these kids can see a future where they can go and what they can do. I'm so fascinated by words and the way, like I was talking about politician. The word earmarks has gotten a good and bad rap, depending on who you are. But I think that the distinction here is whether or not it's an earmark for a private or a public entity. So I'm not going to stand here and tell you, absolutely not. I will not be for earmarks. I just can't tell you that with a good conscience because it matters what the earmark is if that's the only way a small state like us can compete in a large budget with a state like California and New York. I just think it would be irresponsible for me to do that. But here's what I will tell you. If it's something like when you think about when you leave here and you drive on 630, you just better know you're driving on an earmark. And if you decide to go on out west and drive on 430, you're driving on an earmark. And when you cross that bridge going to Momel, going home, you better be glad that earmark is going to get you across that bridge. Across that river. And it's things like, you work for the Transit Authority, and many of you, even if you don't live in a rural area, we have many people who depend on rural transit, those vans. Folks, that's an earmark. So it matters how you use your judgment. It's right back to what I always say, it's about balancing, not just being so absolute that you can't do this and you can't do that. It's not good public policy. And besides that, we need to think about one of the reasons I'm so slow to be so absolutely, I know I'm right, is when you get to Washington, guess what? There are some other people you've got to work with and oftentimes compete with. So, and the short answer is no, I won't tell you, I absolutely won't, but I will absolutely use good judgment in any earmark that I fight for, and it will be for the good of the public, not for the good